every week, you will see, you will discover that Nigeria will be better off. The crime rate will be reduced. Let them go and register. Let them get their, direct deposits into their accounts. Right? Every week you send 5,000 into their account. Now the crime rate will be reduced. These are the youth, and I said it here that the youths in Nigeria, they are like 85%. So when this population are not taken care of, this population, nobody care for them, and we are in serious problem. That is it, my take.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adedigba. So I'm going to go over to Shukwu. Now, Shukwu, you've heard everything that Lighton, he has, make his case very clear. And first of all, I want you to ponder on the news in the last one week there about in Nigeria, all this bad news. What direction do you think Nigeria is leading to with all the news of kidnapping, of ritual murders, finding heads and body woman parts in people's houses, 17-year-old kids, killing their girlfriend and all that stuff. What do you make of all that, and where do you think Nigeria is heading?
Well, it's quite unfortunate that all of these things are happening, and I would like to say that it's a two-part problem that I think is causing this, this unfortunate spate of ritual killings. There is the law enforcement part, because I think largely Nigeria's law enforcement establishment has really failed, in performing their responsibilities, because even in cases where, these culprits are apprehended, what usually happens? And if you have a law enforcement system, where there's there is not enough deterrence, what's going to happen? People are going to continue to do this thing. So that's one part of the problem. There is also what I would call the socio-cultural part of the problem, which is where, the poverty, lack of a welfare system, comes in, that, people just, will figure out a way to survive. But there is, with that socio-cultural portion of it, I would also say there's a cultural part, because what people hear day in, day out also plays a part in how they think and ultimately in what they do. I think religious leaders also have a part in this. I mean, when people go to churches and, all they hear is, one day of favor is better than 20 years of work.
Prosperity gospel.
Yeah. Nobody wants to work, and everybody wants to live big and live large. So, and that's not going to work. So what will eventually happen is people will resort to, very dubious, very crafty
self-help.
To achieve, those main aims. And I mean, I think in Nigeria before, if you are rich, people will ask questions. How did you make your money? Where did you get your riches? Because society usually believe that a good name is better than money. But it's the reverse. Now nobody asks questions. So it's a two-part problem. There's the law enforcement and there's the social-cultural part. Now, to kind of focus on the socio-cultural welfare portion of it, when you have a country where majority of the population cannot afford the basic needs, and when I say basic needs, I mean physiological needs. They can't eat, they can't afford to live in a place that's decent. They can't afford to look after themselves. What's going to happen? And in the same society, they see politicians, spraying money, spending lavishly, living large.
Flashy cars.
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer. People are going to resort to, on very bad
crime,
methods to try and solve that problem. So I think Nigeria is way long overdue for a welfare system. Now, I think as we discuss this further, we will kind of go into what the that welfare system should include. And I say that because in Nigeria, any government program by its design is riddled with corruption. So, and if you have a welfare program that is, designed to be, to facilitate and to allow corruption, we are going to get back to square one. Because if the program is actually not meeting the needs of the people and not solving the problem that we intend to solve, it's going to come back to the same thing. So, physiological needs are very, very important. Security, those are basic human needs. When people can eat and, they feel safe, they can think. And then, maybe part of that welfare program should also include some kind of a program where you actually help people find jobs. So you're not only giving them money to survive, but you are also helping them to find something to do. And if they need skills, to improve their chances to be able to find, a job that will, benefit them and that they can sustain them for a much longer time, then you also have to include that as part of the program where, you provide training and then you also help them to find jobs. So I think to kind of answer your main question, Nigeria is overdue for a social welfare program. And I think that will solve part of the problem of this increase in the spate of ritual killings.
Thank you very much, Chukwu. I'm going to go back to you, Light. So now you've had Chukwu's submissions. Yes. So I just have a question that I want us to trash out. We know that this government is, going after all these criminals, like the terrorists in the Northwest, the terrorists in the Northeast, the Boko Haram, the whatever you have, and they're also going after these kidnappers and all that. But there's this new social menace. There's this ritual murder, ritual killings that is now rampant. And they don't seem to know what to do about it. Nobody is saying anything about. We know they are arresting people, but you are arresting people after they have killed people. You understand? So I think they should go down to preventive measures. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I think about in one of our programs, I was talking about dealing with juju, because these people who are killing people to make ritual murders is some babalawo that is doing it for them. Somebody has that knowledge. I will tell them, go and bring human head, go and bring a woman breast, go and bring this, go and bring that. But when you deal with the root, all these Yahoo boys, you see them on the streets. Some of them, we saw them wearing pampas. Some of them will go to they'll be eating shit. But somebody is doing the juju for them. Do you think that the government, especially of the Southwest government, the Southwest governors, should take a proactive measure and deal with this at the root by banning juju?
Deji, it seems that you've answered the question. like law of cause and effect. One thing will always lead to another. These people that are killing human beings for rituals, body ritual, these people, they are suffering from combative ignorance. The babalawo that are making, that ask them to go and bring head, woman head, go and bring woman private part, go and do this, go and bring breast. Are they millionaires themselves? No, they are not. But due to the poverty rate and their thinking faculty, okay, if I should do this, I will get this.
Poverty mentality.
Yeah, they don't sit down. This Baba, is he a millionaire himself? Is the children millionaire? Are the children millionaires? Why can't you do this way for himself, for the children, for the? But what I think the government should do now is they need a town hall meeting to meet with all the babalawos. Let them feel important. You guys, because of you are important. But this government is your own government. stop destroying yourselves. So stop destroying your children. They should appeal to their sentiments. They should see reason in what they are asking young human beings to go and young people to go and bring. They should try and appeal to them. Later on, they should now round up by telling them that they will deal with them and their family. Not only them, their family. Any babalawo that is caught, they will arrest the wife, they will arrest the children. Right? And they will be killed. Right? Well, after they've appealed to them, then they should go and that will be the last resort. Right? They should tell them that henceforth, any babalawo that you ask somebody to go and kill somebody and to go and bring human part, you will be killed. The government has a lot of work to do. All the state governors, all the House of Assembly, all the House of Rep, all the senators, all the local chairman, they know all the babalawos now. They should call them into town hall meeting. That enough is enough. This is Yoruba land. We should stop killing ourselves. We should stop making modern ritual. This is it is wrong to be killing fellow human beings. For what? How many of them have they become a millionaire? I saw one during the week that one man in a Butemeta, and he will ask somebody, he will ask them to come. So once he will invite them, he will now kill them. He will put them in sock away. They remove all human beings in sock away. So thank God, the last man, he said, this man called me, I want to go and meet him. He told the wife. So the wife now said, my husband said he's coming to you. They didn't see the husband in the night. The following day, they now came to his house. So he now saw the blood. Is the shirt, the clothes worn by the husband. So yesterday, we soaked with blood. They now saw it at the back of the man's house. They now continue searching for everywhere. The guy now brought vigilante. They now continue searching for everywhere. They now saw the sock away where the man, they saw blood. They traced the blood to that place, to sock away. So they now opened the sock away. They saw one man. So eventually they tied the rope. They brought him out. The second one, I think I share it in our platform. I didn't. So they brought the second one, they brought third one, they brought fourth one. So the man, they tie him down. So these are the things. They are ignorant. They don't know what they are doing. How many people have become a millionaire today? They are supplying human parts. But like I said, one thing we always list to another is poverty. That is, if anybody has a means, it had just started. Mind you, this thing had just started. If they don't frontally confront this poverty in our land, if they don't, I'm saying it, if they don't frontally confront it, it will lead to so many things. Because they don't have means. And everybody wants means. Everybody wants to be like Davido. Davido spraying money. Davido spraying millions of naira. But everybody wants to be like him. So everybody wants to be like Don Jazzy, all these people, right? Without working. Right. Now, these are the problem. The government has a lot of work to do there, right? It is engagement. They need to engage all these babalawo. They need to engage all these people involved. They need to make sure that they provide food on the table for the common masses. At least 120 million people. They should be giving them 5,000. They should reduce the money the political office holder are taking every month, the allowances. So to make sure they cater for all these people. Okay. So that is my take.
Thank you, Lighton. Shukpo, building on what Lighton has just said, I am thinking that because when you look in the society, it's not just the Babalawo. We have the Afas, these Muslim clerics, who will tell people to go and bring this. These are Afar that are doing juju. And then, on the other hand, you have these pastors. We've seen pastors who have buried people in their church even. And even the messages of these alphas and pastors, all this get rich quick, the Holy Spirit will transfer you, you get an alert, you do this, you do that, you don't need to work, just come and pray. You understand? So then when you look at the entertainment industry, Nollywood, most of the 50% of all their films is based on juju. When you look at a film, somebody has a problem, somebody is sick. Instead for them to take it to the hospital, they go and consult Babalawo. Somebody wants to get married. Instead for them to go and do blood tests, whether you're SS or AS, they go and consult Babalawo. People are being psyched up that you don't need to think yourself scientifically. All you need to go and do is to go and consult or an oracle. So, and then apart from that, when you look at the music industry, as Latin just said, you find people riding flashy cars, spray money everywhere. So I'm thinking, do you not think that we need a kind of re-education? We need some new kind of education for our children, for our people. I know in those days you have a lot of jingles in the radio. Don't do this, don't do that, don't cheat. But today we have parents, when their children want to go and do WAEC or JAMB, they're going to be bribing invigilators. They're going to be buying exam papers for their children. Some will even go and, get people to go and do exam for their children. Do you think we need a new kind of education, reorientation in education?
Yeah. So I think we need a whole bunch of measures, put together, because I think it's not a one-stop gap. And I will highlight on, I think, a couple of the ones that you've mentioned. So reorientation is two parts. There is the law enforcement part of it, because largely, if you have a very good justice and law enforcement program, that on its own will reorientate people. When people know that there are consequences for doing things that are illegal, it will send a message. And at the same time, when you enjoin religious leaders, societal leaders in encouraging the right behavior, in speaking out and all of that will help. Now, what do I mean by law enforcement? When you see, these activities, killing somebody to do a ritual is not only morally wrong, it is also illegal. So if you look at it, by regulation, for example, if industries are properly regulated, if you say to Nollywood, you cannot do movies that encourage illegal behavior. Any movie that you do, for example, that promotes, people doing ritual, to get rich, cannot, go through the appropriate censorship, for publishing. That is a way that you can curb that. And at the same time, you provide incentives for people to make movies, that will educate the public and steer people on the right side. So, for example, if you make more movies about, people working hard, starting companies, entrepreneurship, there are government grants, for example, that you can get that will help you pay towards the cost of making your movie. So it's a carrot, for the right behavior, while at the same time, you have, a proper regulatory body in place that will regulate, for example, Nollywood movies that have, all of these things. And there are already frameworks in place to do that. If you look at Netflix, for example, there is a lot of Nollywood content on Netflix. Do you see any content in there where people are, doing ritual things and all that? I've watched quite a lot of movies on Netflix. So it's because those framework have a proper regulatory, framework where, they kind of encourage the type of content that they want to provide to their viewers. So it's a two-part system. You have to provide the right incentives that, will spur Nollywood to, make movies that will reorientate and re-educate people. And I would say, for example, that a lot of movies that they're making lately have actually increased awareness about domestic violence. So you can give incentives, for those type of behavior. So that's one. Now, there is also, your other question about maybe banning traditional religious practitioners is what I will call them. I don't think banning outright is the solution. Again, I think having the right regulatory framework that provides the right incentives and punishes bad behavior is what we really need. But one thing that is common across all of these things is enforcement.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how good your regulatory framework is. If you don't enforce it, it's not going to be effective. And I think that is largely where things are happening in Nigeria. In fact, if we do nothing in Nigeria right now, but if the police and the judicial system enforce the laws that are on the books for the people that are caught, right now, that will provide enough disincentive for anyone who is considering going into this thing. So traditional religious practitioners, as I would call them, need to be regulated. So you need to call them, you need to actually go into the details of what they actually do, and then clearly outline what is legal and why, what is considered illegal. And for anybody to practice as a traditional religious practitioner, they have to be licensed. If you're not licensed and you do it, it's illegal. There's a fine or there's a jail time for that. Now, when you are licensed, you also, as part of that licensing process, you agree to adhere to certain ethical behavior. So, for example, if somebody comes to you, to request, that you do any of these ritual, something for them, your duty as a practitioner is to not only say no, but to report them to the appropriate law enforcement agencies. So, and you actually provide an incentive, because if you, for example, give them, maybe a financial incentives for every person that they bring, guess what's going to happen? People are going to stop going there. They may go there for other things, and if they, report people who didn't actually come for ritual killings that they are coming, and people get, but guess what's going to happen? People will stop going there. But they themselves will not do that, because if people stop going to them, that's their own source of livelihood that is gone. So, if you have the right regulatory framework in place that has, carrots for good behavior and incentives for good behavior, and that punishes and discourages bad behavior, and it is properly enforced, then you can actually get to a point where, you integrate them also into society. They are doing their own work, but it has to be in accordance with the laws of the land.
Thank you, Shukwa. Thank you very much. Olaito,
Yes.
just before I talk much more about the social welfare scheme that we were talking about, there's just something again I want us to trash out, and I think you'll be in a better position to talk about it. Today, when I look on YouTube and I see a lot of kids from Europe, from America, from Canada, from Australia, I see what they're doing. They're building robots, they're building helicopters, they're building scientific technological equipment. So they're inventing things. When I look at Nigerian kids, they're doing skits, they're doing comedy. And most of this comedy is based on sex. Somebody's running after somebody's girlfriend. We want to have sex. We're running after somebody's wife and all that. So when you look at all these kids, and then some of them who are not on sex will be on how to cheat, how to use sense, how to do fast deal. So when you have this going on, another potential problem that is waiting to explode in Nigeria is rape. Because when you see all these girls showing their big bombs, showing their chests, and and you are infecting people in society. People are watching this, and you are turning them on. This is another.
On it.
This is another problem.
I found this on the web for who is the oldest girl with a big bomb. Change your chest, and 15 people in society were watching this on. Check it out.
What's that? Just give me a moment. Not sure where that is from. Okay, so Light, over to you. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a potential problem.
That is what I've been saying. The people at the end of affairs, they are bereft of ideas. And no nation.
I don't think they're bereft of ideas, Lighton. I think they're doing their best.
No. They are bereft of sound idea that can move the country forward. I said this. They are self-centered, they are self-aggrandizement. They pursue everybody, they pursue their own interest, not the interest of the generality of the people. I said, these people, no society can move beyond the reasoning of their leaders.
Yeah.
There's no way you can move when the leader, they don't have what it takes to lead in the 21st century. There's nothing you can do. I remember while we were in presidency, I was serving in the presidency under President Obasanjo. I was working as a PA to SSA. We normally sit down. I work as a PA to SSA or National Orientation and Public Enlightenment. Late Bosse Ogunmuyiwa. With the Idi Farouk, the DG of National Orientation in Nigeria. They will come, Minister for Onweke Jr., everybody, they will come, they will sit down. How are we going to push this idea to the people? But these people, they are just the people there right now. I'm not castigating anybody. I don't know. It's not, what they are doing is not fair. It's not fair, right? We normally sit down, okay, what do we do? How do we push this idea? How do we make sure that the people, they buy this idea? These are the things we normally think about day in, day out. At times we leave 3 a.m. the office by 3 a.m. in the morning, right? So this idea we normally, because SSA will give report of what he did to Obasanjo, minister will give the report of what he did to Obasanjo at the end of the month, what they do. So they always give reports. But an instance whereby these people, they want to amass wealth, they want to do this, they want to look at the train. Former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi, brought to the country that he was defending. The train stuck in the bush for 3 days with the passengers inside. We are bringing in the 21st century, you are bringing in locomotive to Nigeria. You are defending it in the House of Assembly, National House.
I didn't hear that news. I didn't hear that.
I saw it. It was broke down in. They don't even know where they are.
Well, they said it broke down for about 3 hours or something, or maybe.
No, it's not 3 hours. They said they were there in the last 42 hours. Those guys. I saw it in the Tribune. So, but what we are saying in essence is the people who want to lead us, they should have visions before they come here. What are you going to do? Not that anybody can be weeping and be crying, and because of sentiment, we voted for him. He has contested 3, 4, 5 times. No, we need idea. Somebody, you want idea that can re-engineer the progress of the country, right? That can, okay, what idea can I put in forward? That I will sensitize people, I will carry people along with me, they will key into my idea, and we will move the country forward. If we have the idea that we have multiplier effect, or ripples effect on the people, right? Not, you are there to serve people, not yourself. Not an instance whereby some thieves are caught, and you don't do anything about it. So, okay. You are using glove hand. So you are treating them with glove hand. Idea whereby some people, because they come from the section of the country, because they are Muslim, because they are Christian, because no, this idea will not move. Nigeria will not move forward. Okay,
Lighton. Let me pause you. Let me pause you there for a while so that we can move on with some other topics. Shukwo, in Nigeria today, we have been talked about as having about 100 million people. And I remember that in one of the schemes that you wrote, the FRAP that you wrote, you were talking about roughly about 80 million Nigerians living below poverty line. That's the research you did. And right now, it looks like we have about 100 million Nigerians actually below the poverty line. And when we say before the poverty line, we are talking about people who live on $0 a day. They've no means of, they've nothing. I mean, somebody who went to school, went to primary school, went to secondary school, went to university, finished his school service, came back, is now living with his mommy and his daddy, wakes up in the morning, nada, nothing. He's just sitting down, looking, going around looking for a job, nothing. Somebody told me that in Dangote's factory, they met somebody who has a PhD, and he's doing a laborer job there. So it's that bad. So now, what I'm trying to say is that we have about 100 million people who have nothing at all to live on. And we are talking about providing a social welfare scheme. Now, we know that the government will say, oh, there's no money. The money is not there. But I remember we spoke about this and that. In Nigeria today, we have nothing less about 2 million billionaires in Nigeria who can put money together. As I have said, if we can give these people only 5,000 naira a week, 5,000 naira, first of all, the tension will come down. I mean, when people wake up in the morning, they know that, okay, on Monday, I'm going to get 5,000. The next Monday, I'm going to get 5,000. We know that this government, APC government, have done a lot. I mean, all the social intervention schemes that have been done by the vice president's office, presidency and all that. But you give somebody 10,000 today or 100,000 today, it doesn't get any money for another 1 year. It doesn't even get any money again. But we are talking about something that is consistent. The way they do in America, in England, in Ireland, when you get money every week, the reason why they give money every week is because if they give you money for 1 month, and then you finish the money in 1 week, then you become a social miscreant for another 3 weeks. But if you get your money weekly, so when you spend the one for this week, you only have about 7 days, you get another one. So this is something that we are thinking will be beneficial to Nigeria. What is your take, Shukwa?
Absolutely. I think, you know, a social welfare program where you actually, you know, meet with
Lighton, can you mute yourself?
That especially are living below the poverty line will be very beneficial. I mean, because, you know, if people, even though they may not have a source of income, but if they can meet some of, you know, those basic needs, you know, that they can eat, and not just, you know, bad food, but, you know, good food, they can actually also think, you know, if they can eat, they can probably also look at, okay, what can I do? You know, do I need to retrain? They can actually think, and that's where you want to get majority of, you know, Nigerians to where they are thinking, they are, you know, bringing innovative ideas. You know, a government's role is to provide incentives, really, and a safe and secure environment, you know, for businesses to grow and thrive, and those businesses at the end of the day will employ people. Government cannot employ everybody. And I think one thing that Nigerians also need to understand is, you know, having a first degree, having a PhD, all of that are good, but people aren't paid by how well educated they are. They are paid by how much productivity they bring, you know, to an economy. We need to understand that. So, because, and the reason I say that also is because, do all Nigerians need to, you know, have a PhD or need to have a first degree? The answer is no. Some people, and, you know, I can point to some entrepreneurs in Nigeria who have actually done very well, who didn't finish their first degree. So I think these are part of a lot of reorientation we have to do. But to kind of expatiate on your question, there are many ways we can do that. You can give them money weekly. You can, you know, create an avenue where, you know, on a weekly basis, they can actually go to get food materials, you know, milk, rice, you know, oil, you know, whatever, however you want to do it. There are many ways in which, you know, you can do that, or you can give them an option. You either collect this much, you know, every week, or you get this much food that you can take home, you know, or a bit of both. So that will help. It will first of all quell, you know, this thirst for, you know, people being given peanuts to do, you know, totally irrational things. That will go. And it will give people a bit of, you know, dignity, that even though they may not be working, but at least, they can eat. They don't have to go beg anybody, and they can live, decently. So this, I think, will go a long way. And then on top of that, when people come, on a weekly basis to either collect their money or collect whatever food materials you have available for them, it's an opportunity to also help them. Do they need any medical care? Do they need to improve their skills, to improve their chances? And there have been so many programs that have been done. For example, in the past, I know there were programs where people, learned, for example, how to make soap. And some people from there were able to actually, develop their own products, make their own label and help society and also help themselves. So there are many ways, but I think the fundamental thing that is very clear is we need a social welfare program. Now, I know some people, particularly people at the elites and people at the the political class, may say, why should people be given money for doing nothing? Well, if you look at it, if those people don't have any source of income, they have nothing to eat, they have nothing to do, guess what's going to happen? Your own wealth, your own safety, your own security, and everything else is at stake. So if you look at it from the perspective that this is money that you are giving so that everybody can live decently. Nobody has to take what somebody else has.
Thank you.
Then that is part of what we as a society owe to our fellow citizens to make sure that they have a decent livelihood.
Thank you. Lighton, please unmute yourself. Okay, so Shoko has just touched on something that I wanted to discuss with you. Now, you have about 100 million people, actually about 120 million people who are living below the poverty level. They are living on $0 a day, zero, not $1, not $2 like in Pakistan. They are living on zero. So out of this, about 120 million people, 80 million of them are youths, or people between the ages of 10 and say 40. These are people, intelligent people, brilliant people, most of them educated people, able-bodied, strong, people can think on their feet, and they're just walking on the street. They have nothing to do. Now, if we have a social welfare scheme where you are paying these people $5,000 a week, and you say, okay, if you want to be in this scheme, go and register in your local government. We form you into a kind of social corps, just like National Youth Service Corps. So when you are in this social corps, you will sign an agreement that you will work for 3 days. We can send it to somebody's farm. There are a lot of farmers who have farmlands. They cannot afford to engage laborers to do the work. We can send you to the farm. Go and do 3 days there. There are a lot of people, like Nigeria is short of housing. We can push them to go and be building houses. We can put them into road construction. We can build them into, there's some, we can use the, so what means is that, what's going to happen then is that instead of these people now going around pickpocketing, you actually have them in a cocoon. You have them so that you know what they are doing. And then from time to time, if they work for 3 days, the other 2 days, as Shukwa is advocating, we can put them into a vocational school or organize seminars. We can treat them to be carpenters, to be bricklayers, electricians, so that by the time you are there for one year, you are highly skilled. And then we have a society that is not only being looked after, but that we have highly skilled. So what's your thoughts on this?
I've said it earlier on. You see, it boils down to the same thing I've been saying, that when you have leaders, visionary leaders, they will turn around the fortunes of Nigeria. We have the population. We have the materials, we have the resources. We only need somebody who will marry the three.
The manager.
And turn around and jumpstart the fortunes of the country. Right? But an idea where you have leaders. I'm sorry to digress. Where you have feudal laws as it is being practiced in the northern states, there is nothing we can do. It's a ripple effect on the southern parts. The feudal lords there, they are the ones that dictate whatever they want to, and they give them peanuts. But here we have the population. Because of the feudal lords here, they don't work, all what they have is once the money comes, they share it among themselves. They have those guys, the youths, to go and carry boat, to go and be begging for arms. But here, we need to sit down. We need people who serve as role model. We need a new orientation. We need a new pattern. We need to be debriefed that hard work pays. When you give them that 5,000 that we said earlier on, right? We need to educate them. We in Europe and America, what kind of job are we doing? These are the jobs we do over here, that we work, right? We work, we earn living. We should encourage them to do this same job. After they give you 5,000 naira every week, go to the farm, go and farm. There will be glut in the food production. When people are planting cassava, planting yam, planting maize, planting, right? I went to Philadelphia. I was coming from Philadelphia. Both sides, they cropped, they plowed the land, they did everything, like thousands of kilometers, right? Everywhere, those guys, they are working there. Right? They don't say they are graduates. They don't say they have PhD. They don't say, everybody, you work, then you pay. But in Nigeria, everybody wants to become a millionaire. Like I said, we have to work to get money. We don't need to live above our income. Right? So when we work, we earn money, and we live decently. We are decent living. Right? And the government too, on their own part, they have a lot of work to do. Anybody that wants to come, they want to come and serve people. That should be their orientation. They want to come and serve these people. A lot of people are crying every day. A lot of people are hungry. An hungry man is an angry man because they are hungry. They went into the extreme of killing people to make money. But when they have hope, that, okay, we have hope, tomorrow, this week, we have 5,000. Next week, we have 5,000. Nobody wants to go and take gun and be shooting. Nobody wants to go and behead anybody, right? So, like you said, we have to go. We have to orientate these people, our Nigerian people. We have to sit them down, to see reason. We have to educate them. We have to do jingles. We have to do film. All these film shows. We have to do everything to make sure we educate them gradually. All these multinational companies, they should encourage these people. They should pump money into propaganda, into encouraging people to be in the same what people do in a sane and sane society. So that is my take. Yes.
Thank you, Lighton. Thank you. Well, we've come to the end of today's deliberation. So, well, before I let you go, I just want to tell our viewers again, we want you to subscribe to our channel so that when we do our videos every week, you will be one of the first to be contacted. And you can do this by subscribing to youtube.com/Diaspora Panel or going to www.diasporapanel.com. And before we go, I want to give you guys 1 minute each to say your social media declaration. So let me start with you, Shupo. What's your social media declaration for today? Just one line.
A social welfare program is long overdue in Nigeria, and I believe it will help solve the recent spate of ritual killings as well as solve other socio-cultural problems that we currently have.
Thank you very much. Lighton, what's your social media declaration for today?
My social welfare declaration today is our leaders, they should be proactive. They should know that they are there to serve fellow human beings, not for themselves, right? Because if you serve these people, right, nobody wants to come and barricade the road and be killing you. No, the money even you get, you will be able to spend it conveniently. Nobody, you will not be fear, you will not be afraid. So our leader, they should, our political office holders, our leader, our senators, representatives, House of Assembly, they should make an enabling law that we shift our people from poverty line, right, into self-contentment. That is my take.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Come to the end of today's deliberation. Thank you all for viewing, and we hope to see you again